Are you a home buyer or home seller in Farmville, North Carolina?
We love making these videos for you because it's one thing to watch these national news or read these articles or watch these YouTubers who are talking about a very different market, and it's better to talk about what is happening right here in our area. And we look at the data in Farmville so we can give you the supply and demand real data, real time that is happening.
Exactly.
Now, I want to caveat this. I know it's my favorite word of these videos these days in November, but I want to point out that supply is how much home sellers are willing to sell their home for. Demand is how much people are willing to pay for the home. And prices that get sold are the ones that meet in the middle. So buyers have power, supply, and sellers have power too. So it's not just you can't sell your $100,000 house for $1 million. Nobody's going to buy it. And on the other side of it, it's there. So with that, let's talk about data.
Exactly. The data started with that, as my wife said, inventory rate. And in months of October, just finished, we had 11 homes active in the market, and 7 of them went under the contract and 2 homes sold, which brings us to inventory rate of 9 months.
That's a lot. That looks like a buyer's market. However, with those low numbers, it's harder to say. So we've got more data to talk about.
Exactly.
Whereas we look at the month before that, we had 18 active homes, 7 under contract, 5 homes sold, which was a 5-month supply at the end of the day. And what about last year?
And the last year we had just 10 homes active in the market, 3 homes actually went under the contract, and 6 homes sold, which brings us to 2.16 months of the inventory rate.
Now we're going to get into more data about Farmville, but first I think we should do our introduction, right?
Let's hit it.
Hi, it's Alan Victoria. Welcome to our Talent Podcast.
And if this is your first time in our podcast and YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe and get notified.
Us, we call text all the time at 252-327-357. We love talking to you. Don't be shy. Also, don't forget our buyer's guide and seller's guide in the description below.
Exactly. Now, talk about more factors that going to affect beside of the inventory, like average days on the market. And saying that, Farmville actually had 58 average days on the market in months of October just passed, and previous months in September was 47. Therefore, it get longer in the market. What about the last year?
Last year was only 9 though. So 9 compared to last year, that means there was a 544% increase on days on market. However, we're going to talk about new construction in a minute and why that matters.
Actually, also wanted to talk about a little bit absorption rate that determines the buyer's or seller's market. And we saw the inventory rate, but when we're looking at also the absorption rate in 2.67 for months of September, and October actually went 1.56, which is lower than months before, and it was almost the same as in absorption rate last year, October, 157.
Now, when we look at all this data and we say, what is the median list price? And median list price is when we look at all the houses from shacks to mansions, what's the middle number, median list price for the month of October, what was put into the MLS, versus when we do that for sales price and sales data, we see different numbers, of course, but we can see what that middle number was, and that's always important to know. So in October 2023, the median list price was
$292,400, and for the sold price was $339,950.
Whereas if we look at the month before that, what do we see?
$244,950 for the list price and $319,900.
Whereas compared to last year, we see
$329,900 for list price and $220,000 for the sold price.
So we see a 54% increase in sales price compared to last year, which is a very, very huge number. But again, a lot of
which comes really new construction in Farmville, North Carolina. And saying that, you can have a way of the quick and dirty, basically calculating the home value. But of course, you need to pay attention to the condition of home and the location of homes.
Now, most homes in Farmville are going to be single-family homes. Yes, occasionally the duplexes show up, but most of our data is going to be the overwhelming number of data in Farmville is single-family homes.
Yeah, 99% probably or more. Therefore, the price per square feet is on $161 for all type of home, which is again single-family home.
New.
for brand new. What about the
Whereas
pre-owned?
previously owned homes, we're talking $122 a square foot. So for 1,000 square foot pre-1980 home should be $122,000 based on the down and dirty number. But that doesn't give us the actual home in its location or what the features are of the home. This is just a down and dirty number that can be increased or decreased as needed. So it's just a quick math of what your home might be worth.
And if you're looking at the inventory, actually supply, monthly supply in Farmville, we were 2.6 months for all new construction, which is again single family home. And in the month of September, we were 2.1. Therefore, definitely increased the supply.
Whereas we look at previously owned homes that are resting in the market, there's only 0.5 months of supply of previously owned homes in Farmville. So there's not a lot of homes that people are actually living in that they're selling. And the month of September, there was 1.2. So it's actually gone down for what people are selling.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about mean home value. Mean is weighted, right? Weighted middle. So we're looking at that as a little bit of a difference to understand what is going on with Farmville.
Exactly. A month of October was 188,881, and a month before September was 189,310. And the last year was 178,187.
Which is a 6.7% increase, which means 6.7% appreciation right now at the filming of this video on your home.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about the rent.
And the rent actually got warm, the market in Farmville, and we had $125 of month over month change of increase, and we got to $1,000 for all median of all bedroom.
Right. So Farmville and the filming last month was like the steal, and now that's gone. Really, everything's over $1,000. Now let's talk about if you're a home buyer. I already said before at the filming of this video, interest rates have actually started to go down again. You know, something happened at the federal level, so now's actually a good time to lock in a house because you're going to get that lower interest rate. Now, also notice that inventory rate. So all inventory is shrinking. People are staying in their homes that previously owned. There's not a lot of homes that people are even selling. So pay attention. If there's a specific type of home, you have to be ready to go. Also, understand that Thanksgiving is coming, so a lot of people will be home so they can shop. So that is something to think about as well.
And look at the sold price. Sold price was 54% actually increased with respect to the last year. Definitely, if something comes to the market based on also the data that we had just 0.5 months of supply for the pre-owned home, definitely you need to take an action with the pre-qualification letter that you talk to your lender and get the house that you love.
And I also want to talk about if you're considering renting versus buying, it's always better to buy for this reason. You need shelter. What happens when you're 80 years old and you can't afford the rent anymore? It's always better to not put yourself in a situation to where you can't afford your life when you can't afford to work anymore. So it's better to pay a little bit more now, have a place to live for when you are going to retire. So you have a place to where you're not stressed about money. Also, make sure we're talking about that. We're talking about it is better to pay more now. It's always better to kind of hop in and buy when you can.
Exactly. And now let's talk about the sellers.
Yes.
The sellers, basically, we wanted to talk about the pricing strategy, talk to your real estate agent professionals, that we wanted to make sure that we give you the property value based on the feature of your homes and the houses actually sold in the market. Right. And the pricing it correctly.
Absolutely.
Because you want the most money
in
your pocket.
And then second thing we want to talk about is staging your home. Make sure that you're emphasizing the correct features. You are making it look to the best of its ability, because we want to make sure that you're getting the top dollar for your home as much as possible, because by making it look new, it will feel new to somebody else, and that's always a good thing.
Yes. And also when we said $161 for the price of the new homes, or make sure also when you price it and stage it is the way that it should be, from 122 to 161. You definitely making sure the price is correct.
And we also just want to add that year over year, the home values have increased, as we said, 6.7%. So, I mean, make sure that we're taking that into consideration when we're talking about selling your home. So we hope you love this data. We love giving you this data.
And don't forget to leave us comment and subscribe in our channel. We'll love to connect with you and see you in the next podcast.
And don't forget to call us at 252-327-3357.